Welcome back. Well, most of us have probably heard the phrase gentle parenting. It's the popular concept that emphasises positive discipline to foster a strong parent-child relationship and is backed by convincing real-world studies. However, not everyone's on board, with some taking to social media to express their disapproval.
I saw a kid throw a fork at his mom's face at a restaurant, and she was like, "We don't express frustration like that." Frustration. You're raising Vlad the Impaler. I'm no history major, but that dude had a lot of enemies.
So, is this new parenting trend a game changer, or is it giving up and allowing children to become dictators at home? It's really interesting, isn't it? For more, let's bring in adolescent psychologist Deirdre Brandner, live in Melbourne. Great to have you with us. So, can you start by telling us what exactly is that term, gentle parenting?
I think gentle parenting, despite the name, can be quite misunderstood. It is about making children aware of what's going on around them and making them aware of their behaviours and feeding back to them. And it's giving them still an understanding of, this isn't the right thing to be doing, this is what we would like you to be doing. So it is about giving them boundaries, but it's very much reacting to their emotional response so that they can learn what the right course of action is.
And why do natural consequences work better than punishments?
Punishments it comes from that idea of seen and not heard. It's about threats, and children and us don't respond very well to threats. We respond well to making sure that when things go wrong, it's a teaching moment. So holding a behaviour and saying, well, because you did this, we can't do this, is a much more natural and effective technique than, a child jumping on the couch and saying, right, you're in your room for 15 minutes. It doesn't connect the two things.
Deirdre, what do you say to people that are saying, look, they need disciplined kids. They need to know where the boundaries are. They can't cross them, especially in public. This is too soft.
I would agree with people with that theory, absolutely. Children need boundaries, they need discipline. But studies tell us that the two most important factors to keep in mind for successful parenting is being firm and being kind. And we know that a combination of those two is the way that you will get through those tricky moments, and also allow for our children to learn about how they can engage appropriately, even when things are going wrong, even when they're overwhelmed.
Let's use that example then. The kid throwing a fork at the parent's face at a restaurant. Clearly, it wasn't approved by that other parent. What would you have done?
I would have said that we don't throw forks, we don't throw things. I can see that you're frustrated, but we need to put that down and go on with eating our meal. So telling them what went wrong, what they were feeling, but more importantly, what they need to be doing next. I think that's the part in parenting that we often forget to do. We get so caught up in the emotion of what's going wrong, we get embarrassed, we're out in public, and we forget to tell our child what we need them to be doing. And we know that that's the key to behaviour change. It's also the way our children learn.
And if it happened again, would the natural consequence of that be, like you might say, hey, listen, if it happens again, we might need to just go for a walk around the block and reset, something like that. And they don't want to do that because they're actually having a nice time at dinner or whatever.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Sorry, Deirdre, go on.
It depends on the age of the child, obviously, and I think sometimes our expectations of what children can cope with. I know myself, and I'm sure you guys have seen children sitting in very lovely restaurants, and they don't have the skills to manage themselves in that environment. And sometimes, kids who have a fork are doing that to get attention, or they're doing that because they're bored.
Yeah, we actually don't know anything about the story, right? When you see another couple, you don't know what medical conditions they might have, or any reasons that might be happening.
Deirdre, can I ask you a particular example as well? We are trying to teach our kids to be resilient and I guess to react in the right way. What if your kid has been hit at school or is being bullied at school? Should they stand up for themselves?
I think that being able to say how they're feeling in that moment and being able to send a clear message that that other person's behaviour is not okay. And children need to have that fine line between what is okay and what isn't okay. And you mentioned the word resilience. Resilience comes from navigating difficult situations. And I think some people think gentle parenting is about avoiding or giving in. Our children need to know that, guess what? Sometimes mum and dad are not going to like what they see and what they hear, and they're going to give me that feedback. And that is absolutely okay, as long as we do it in a kind and firm way.
and it's okay if sometimes we lose our stuff, don't do it right. The important thing then is to own up to it, I assume.
We're all going to make mistakes. There's nothing called perfect parenting, and it's unrealistic. So we need to own when we've mucked up, and we need to share that with our children.
Okay, Deirdre, thanks for your time. Really appreciate
Great
it.
tips.
Thank you.